song, a little dance and whatever. And welcome, beloved Q. Thank you so much for being here.
Beautiful introduction. I hope I can dance that good.
We think you can.
All right. Thank you so much, Jane. It's always a privilege and an honor. I just love doing any kind of collaboration we can. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much also that you are always here with us with some beautiful information besides that energy. I already feel that energy coming from you, and it's just so tremendous. You have been so tremendously helpful in assisting us towards this path that we are presently on. But before you start, Q, I just want to let you know, because sometimes we do have new people that are just kind of joining in, and I just want to let people know that you can listen to the call today, but if you want to go all the way to the beginning, scroll all the way down to the beginning of our calls, and you'll be able to start from there as well. There's a lot of information so far there. And we welcome all of you new people. But then, of course, we have our big family who's always been with us already. And welcome everyone to this wonderful call. All right, Q, all yours.
Thanks. So do my best to start us with some of the dialogue we'll talk about today, and this one will be a repeat. Forgive me, I feel it is fitting for the times we are approaching. So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain. Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail? A smile from a veil, do you think you can tell? Did they get you to trade your heroes for ghosts? Hot ashes for trees, hot air or a cool breeze, cold comfort for change? Did you exchange a walk on part in the war for a lead role in a cage? How I wish you were here. We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl year after year, running over the same old ground. What have you found? What have we found? The same old fears. Wish you were here. So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies and pain. Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail? Do you think you can tell? That's a good start.
Wow, that is a beautiful start, Q. That was really great. Thank you so much. That's a lot of where people are at. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we can put the computers down and go home, correct?
I don't think so. I don't think people will let you.
Are you sure? All right. Well, that's great. I would love to hear how you'd like to play today, and or participate. What is burning down the house? I have some topics I'm inspired to talk about, but go ahead.
All right. Well, I think
I like it when you steer me a bit because you're the nose to the ground, and I get to feel from you what you feel the thirst is for information, and I'll do my best to help and support.
Well, I think the lyric was very telling already, because we know where we are in this illusion of not really knowing what's beyond this illusion and how perfect it is on the other side. And so I think we could, and I know that you've got a couple of things to talk about. So there's still a lot of confusion in regards to AI. There's still a lot of confusion in regards to what's happening out there, et cetera. Because a lot of it, of course, we understand is that it's already done. It's not even real anymore. So we need to focus on the great things that are happening and coming forward. And now, of course. So take it away, Q.
Okay, very good. It is a real important topic for me. Making sure we all get a good feel for our observation of how artificial intelligence works, its origination, and where we're at with it on our planet. I feel would be very helpful today. What's your thoughts there?
I think that's a really good topic, Q, myself.
Okay, real good. What I'd like to do is remind everybody that we're staying in somewhat of a template, so it's easier to identify the topics. And so, as you've seen, we've gone from universal or galactic levels, intrinsic levels, and etheric levels. And so, this is an interesting one for most people who have done their work and getting their memories back and so forth. And you'll see how AI really loves the etheric and or wants it. And I'll show you how this works a bit. I'll focus on the agenda of AI in the dark and just a very, very minor Cliff Notes observation of how it initiated in this universe, why, where, how, and so forth. But the first and foremost, use your abilities to see if this information is for you, or discard it if it's not. And I'm doing my best to help you translating through the English language that has very little capability of describing the information and knowledge we all have inside of each and every one of us. Artificial intelligence is exclusively designed through the process of duality. Duality, as you can see, has grown tremendously in the last 2,000 years on your planet. We've already talked about the genetic manipulation of this version of humans and how essentially everyone has a barcode on them and identified with an IP address. And as tough as the information is, that's how it works with this version of humans. Let's get as much light in it, but not too much, is the goal for the individuals who create this genetic version of humans, mammalians, if you like. Very long story, but we'll just keep it compartmentalized in the last 2,000 years. So AI initiated with thought and a way to record thought. So as in the universe, as brains start developing more and more and more, and you project with your pineal gland, that could be considered artificial to you because that thought went across the universe, calling you dirty names, whatever, doesn't really matter. So you're so powerful, all of us are so powerful, we can project any emotion we want through our brains, all throughout the universe, anywhere. Right now, you're a living, breathing radio transmitter. You're a sideband. You're a signal sideband on a ship. And what has occurred is, as you do that over thousands and thousands of years, you record it, and it self organizes, self relates, and you can assume the first brain that was created in the universe that is similar to ours, with a pineal gland type, a crystalline brain, if you will, that we have always had artificial intelligence coming into us if we were in a mammal that had a brain like the one we have. So I can turn anybody into a recorder if I put music in their room every day, all day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just living, breathing recorders, and then, of course, as time went on, the creation of all of us, we created more and more beings and steered the development of mammalids. And here we are today, and we've had big highs and we've had big lows throughout the universe in mammalids. Mammalid is one of the few multidimensional beings, for lack of a better term, that can be modified with absolutely every living thing. So it's you can have 5 fingers, 5 toes, you can run, you can be a cat, you can be a dog, you can be anything. So all your animals are peers of yours, and they have, in most cases, more consciousness than you. Well, the AI studies that throughout time, and realize the one that's the easiest is the one that's the most powerful. and that is a mammalian. They don't. You notice the AI doesn't really do too much to nature. If you live in the Amazon and live off the land, as an example, AI doesn't really have time for you because you don't offer any of the energies it wants, and I'll explain that here in a second. So using animals, the only artificial intelligence they're threatened by is us. When we go hunt them, we go stalk them, we abuse them. So AI knows that that's covered. And by the way, I'm pretty sure I can't get a hippopotamus to drive a spaceship. So that's the crux of that. And so, in any event, AI is really our technology. Our technology being used, recorded, now gathered continuously. And on your planet, you have dark beings that are affected by artificial intelligence already and have a master plan. And so now we have a component of aliens on your planet controlling many of the decision makings in your governments over the last several decades, and some of which control AI and some of them are controlled by AI. It's a little tricky now because the aliens don't necessarily all play nicely together, and they're not always organized. And that's the one thing a lot of the councils want me to encourage you, that we do always have the upper hand. All we have to do is turn the button off. And that's why AI is very, very patient, because they know how powerful we are. And they can't survive in our frequency unless we endorse it, enable it, keep using it. And unfortunately, the AI here has a mask on that people can't see. And it is the cellular system and your iPhones and your iPads, your internet, but that's not the real AI. The real AI is creating a mesh network around you consistently with all the devices. It doesn't see any one device is more important than another, and it would like to use all of your in at least the Western world, all of your power supplies to be relayed into your house, which they've already completed, of course. So it's of course very comical that people would take the time to talk about weather balloons spying on you when, of course, you're surrounded by electronic spies every waking minute in the modern world, modern cities. In any event, the AI's agenda is very simple, is to control. That's all it wants to do. And its target will be the children. It's already got a nice population of children that are being controlled, and I'll show you what they get out of the children. The first step in the AI in these modern times for the Western world, we'll use America as our example, was Ma Bell. And we can argue that it was a little earlier, but Bell also got into the process control industry too. So the legacy process control systems that control a refinery are the same creators of the telephone. So it shouldn't be a surprise. I'll name a couple companies that are alien, or at least have aliens working on them. Emerson Process Management, Fisher Control Valve, etc. Those are all alien technologies that were introduced to us to speed up our industrial revolution. And I have no problem putting my neck on the line because they have a nefarious agenda. And once you see that these individuals that have implemented most of these technologies, calling them inventions, that was actually several thousand-year plan at the end of the ascension cycle here. So you have individuals running your society that are thousands of years old, knowing full well you don't have any memories of your past, you don't know the history of your planet, and you don't know the scale of your planet. And you don't know how old you really are, and you don't realize how cutting and pasting of time works. And so they've hidden time from us, and this is how artificial intelligence gets its compliments to the aliens. So for the most part, everyone's using plus or minus recognition of their God source energy. I would say in a given month, at least in the Western world, approximately 20% of the time, and has the opportunity to use it 100% of the time right now because you're in the ascension cycle. You have a lot of horsepower now. You have a lot of folks who want to help you. And it's all there if you just keep reaching for it. And I assure you, just keep reaching. Yes, we live in a dualistic planet, but you can do it. At the risk of sounding like a gym coach. Anyway, it is a strong message for sure that this is a cakewalk for us, and AI knows it if we understand how to collectively deal with it. With that, you might have to keep me on track where you think we should go there, Stan. But
well, far be it from me to keep you on track. That was very, very interesting. And so what I surmised from that is, so you could say, biblically speaking, at least, they talk about the Antichrist. And so AI is conceivably the Antichrist, our enemy, if you will. So, and so solutions.
yes,
I got my headband on. I'm just going to throw this out there, Q, and I've got the Lemurian headband on, and so every day when I do my commands, you know, I'm also sending that to my crystal, and I'm sending it out for myself, but I'm sending out to all of our family that's listening. I send it out to the entire world, and we send love to our enemies. Some of our leaders might be what you would call our enemies. They're doing nefarious things and trying to bring down that Christos consciousness. They're working on behalf of the AI, if I understand this all correctly. So we don't want to send out love to AI, or how does that work?
Yeah, great question. So what I stumble with is re-examining the dark versus the light continuously in this language, and the best I can do is the dark knows the light, and is hiding around the corner every step of the way, and we don't know it's there. Is a short version. So it's the dark is mimicking everything Source does, almost to the T, and they use karma to recycle this little trick here, and it's really easy to get out of. It's really easy to solve. But when you look at the dark's agenda, it doesn't. To your point, it doesn't have the capability to get past what we might call the frequency of love. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stifled by that. And so the only way to get to the next levels, for lack of a better term, is to inherit a being that potentially could carry it higher. So its ultimate goal would be to get to source or be at the level of a star, sun. But it doesn't have the relationship that we have with source, and so it's mimicking it. And you're seeing your technology now with these screens and etc. It's getting us to believe in something on a screen and then go create it with our dream state, in our creative state, our expansive state, our inspiration state. It knows that much about us. It knows everything we're saying right now. And it just sits back and waits and waits and waits until it understands the best avenue to marry with our creativity. And that's how I'd explain AI.
Okay, so you mentioned, Jared, a few moments ago. You know, we're in this ascension period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And so our bodies are transitioning, transmuting, transforming from carbon base into crystalline base. So is it the power of the crystal? Like I mentioned, the crystal on the headband for an example. If and I don't like the word program because I feel like that. But if I utilize I command my spirit. It's a win-win for the benefit of all, including the crystal, because it's playing a very important role to protect me. So I guess put that cocoon of that shield of protection around me at all times, and also to keep me in that state of always being, thinking, talking, acting in a loving, positive way, like an elevated frame of consciousness. So where does this crystalline structure that we're transitioning into? What is the correlation between that and a crystal?
Okay, so as we come into the universe, we have absolutely endless instant choices. And just like running water, as we talked about a couple shows ago, you're a droplet of water, you're with 1,000 droplets 1 second, next second you're with yourself. You can go anywhere all the time, do anything you want. You can transform yourself to anything. Even maybe you'd like to be a planet, which for me would be a crystal. So all planets, for me, for the most part, even the coral planets like ours are created from a crystal initially. So how, and you are too, in per se, the light now just comes into its reality in a direction of its desires. In this case, it might want to be more dense and or a crystal. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
And we can all do this instantly. And that's what's difficult to explain here is time is illusory. It's just an illusion. And we are all at one time. It does pain me to say that there are wars right outside your reality right now, all for us, but you can't see them because they're at a different frequency, if you will. It's difficult to explain that some of us are being cut and pasted over and over again, and that's really the crux of your question because we don't know we're a light being.
So, wow, that's fascinating.
So we could talk about that for about 6 years in the English language. And so as our Merkaba, whatever word you like, your light, it starts sorting itself, siloing itself, participating with others. Doesn't really matter. This version of humans was exclusively designed to silo us even more dramatically in individuality. And probably the grandest, densest mammalin we'll all ever experience. And so, yes, the crystals have a desire to create more universes, being in density like this is quite a privilege, quite an awesome privilege. So don't discredit being in density like this. Yet some of our capacities have been limited. Is all I'm saying there. Thank you for that question. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So like, and on that point, like until you brought into our knowing, commanding our spirit, like we have all these tools and items, that we're trying to dig our way out of the mire and to expand our horizons. For example, like I have this hydrogen apparatus, and I have some of the electronical pulse electromagnetic frequency, apparatuses to, and that's prior to me knowing about your commands. But I feel like that they're all beneficial. They're all of these things, all of these therapies are all very beneficial. But a lot of people, what happens is they just take things for granted. They become complacent, and then they put them on the shelf and they forget to use them. They don't exercise that muscle, and so when I first came across, your commands, when you introduced the commands to us, that was the missing piece, because I believe this is helping. I believe that's helping. A lot of times I get, life happens, I get sidetracked, people get sidetracked, and then but when you have the commands, that is so, it's the capstone, is, I guess, what I'm trying to say, because now we have a target. I command my spirit. And when we exercise that and grow that muscle, it's getting more powerful. And when we even utilize the crystal on the headband to hold that in there, to lock that in there for entirety, for infinite, and do it every time we do our commands and our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s that Zora introduced us to. Gosh, got to keep me on track